wilderness. I couldn't handle staying inside. It is just so nice. After all this nasty heat that we've been experiencing, it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I would love to be in a location where you have a really beautiful view, but the sun is really difficult when you're filming and it cooks the equipment. So I'd end up having to relocate because the equipment would get too hot. So I'm behind our little tiny house in the shade in a beautiful spot. And believe it or not, I'm like actually getting goosebumps back here because the breeze is so nice. In the sun, it's hot, but I can't tell you how thankful I am for the break in the weather. I can actually sit out here because I'm not being consumed by smoke, which is another huge praise. The smoke has lifted out of our area, which is just tremendous. So, woohoo! Miss Carol says I'm here. Awesome, awesome. Oh, I got to start. No, wait, I got to get the other machine going here. I'm trying to touch the wrong screen. Retraining the brain still. Okay, here we go. We got Miss Deb in the house. We got Miss Carol. We have Miss Tammy. She says she's hanging out her laundry and weeding in the heat and smoke. So you've got the heat and smoke today. We had it so bad on Monday that you could not see a mountain in front of this house. It was just insane. I didn't even want to go outside. I had all the windows buttoned up. It was terrible. It was just terrible. And even with everything buttoned up inside, I felt like I was just breathing smoke. It was awful. And it hung around Tuesday. And then yesterday, about 4 o'clock in the morning, we had an electrical storm go buzzing by, and we did get some rain. It sounded great. It smelled great, but an hour later, you wouldn't have even known that it rained. The ground was so dry again. So I'm grateful for it. I was a little nervous with all the lightning because that's so dangerous when it's this dry. And then I had to run an errand yesterday. I actually had an eye doctor appointment. And when I got over there, their parking lot, part of their parking lot was actually flooded, that they had gotten that much rain so fast. So it was nice to see that other areas close by or fairly close by, it's like an hour to my eye doctor appointment, but still that they had gotten rain because it is just so tremendously dry and it's just so, we're really in a very vulnerable position with this dryness. And then as Tammy said, you know, they've got the heat and the smoke. So like I said, I'm grateful. I'm praising God greatly for this cooler temps. And oh, I got to show you this. This is funny. She was just laying here in the shade, but I think that she got too cold. So that lump right there is Miss Copperhead. She's like sunbathing. So speaking of Miss Copperhead, last night she and I went for a moonlit walk. It was absolutely awesome. Walked about almost 4 miles. And when we left here, it was dusk. And I knew it was going to get dark on us, but it was just so amazing. I love it here. I know that I am surrounded and sharing the wilderness with other animals and so forth, and that the two-legged predators, you know, show themselves from time to time. But sometimes I don't know. You know, I don't live by fear. So we headed out. It was awesome. We walked back in the dark that I could like just make out her silhouette with the moon, but it was just so amazing. And it was harvesting, and we'll be going back out to harvest St. John's wort, milk thistle, mullein. There was something else, but there's a couple things that are more abundant further away from us here. Those are some of the things. The other thing that I want to harvest is pineapple plant, which is very similar in smell and taste to chamomile, and but it has a very dominant pineapple taste to it. It's really awesome, really awesome. There's some of that here, but it's real low to the ground and ends up getting peed on and stomped on. And you know, I'm delusional in thinking that nothing else is peeing on it out there, but whatever. But anyway, that's what we did last night. She is my partner in crime all the time. She fights me through the door to get out because she wants to guard me all the time. So I'm really grateful for her, but we always have a good time walking. So that's how I'm getting my walks in, because early mornings are okay, but yesterday it was raining, and with this smoke and this heat, it's just been miserable. So we've been getting out at night. Awesome. Miss Deb says, looking forward to being here this morning. I am glad to have you. And, oh, Miss Carol says she has good news. Come on, please tell. Deb says, really smoky here also from the Mazama fire just over the mountains to the west. Wow. That's just it's terrible. It's really rough on you. It's really rough, you know, being in it constantly. And then the heat too. Carol says we had 34 yesterday. Oh my gosh, she said it was so hot. Yes, it's all over the place. The weird weather is just all over the place. I put this hat on because my bangs are so annoying and they're still blowing around. Yes, Carol, I figured you would appreciate copper sunbathing. What I ought to do is put a bikini on her so she gets tan lines. She'd probably get a kick out of wearing it too. She's kind of funny. During hunting season when we walk, I always wear my small game vest on her. So she stands out, but also because of her color, she could easily be mistaken for a mountain lion with her tail as well as a deer at a quick glance. And some people react too quickly to a quick glance. So she enjoys wearing that. She allows me to suit her up, and she's funny. Deb says, what and how do you use pineapple weeds? Just love just snacking on them in the garden. I dry them and make tea. And I use it fresh and make tea as well. Yes, they are amazing, aren't they? And I just love, you know, rolling the flowers in my hands and just like walking and smelling. That and yarrow, I like doing that with. My aromatherapy, not that I need any more of it when I'm out in the woods. Carol says, I'm moving to my own one-bed little bungalow August 21st. How awesome! How awesome. Will you have a little backyard or anything that you'll be able to continue growing your goodies? And she says, I have 3 chili peppers and 1 pepper, lol. Hey, take it as you can this year, because with the heat and the weird weather, gardening has been a challenge this year. It's also been a learning experience for many to see what likes the extreme heat and what doesn't. Deb says, I have to wear a cap all day, especially outside with my hair and bangs tucked under the cap. Yeah, my bangs are not long enough that I can like pull them up and clip them. If I do, it's like the clip is like right here at my forehead. It looks ridiculous. So, you know, there's things you do on the homestead when people aren't watching, and there's things you do when people are watching, you know. Anyway, Carol says, and Lorenzo's mom, Niley, just passed her written theory test, so now she can do her drawing lessons. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's awesome. And Lorenzo got to go to the beach. Carol shared some pictures with me. That little boy is so cute. Which reminds me to tell you guys, next Wednesday is our Zoom, our community Zoom. I've made an executive decision, because this week I had errands, I ran Friday, and then I ran Sunday, and then I had errands Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that took me away from here for like 3 hours at a shot. I'm tapped. And like yesterday, I was really tapped. Today I feel much better, but I know exactly what it's from. And I know that if I do a live on Monday, a Zoom on Wednesday, a live on Thursday, a Bible study Thursday night, and a Kids Corner Friday, I will be going. So this is what next week's schedule is going to look like. And if you're not part of our community, you need to join so you can join us. You can go to trayerwilderness.com/community. And next week's schedule will be Monday at 3:30. Okay. I am taking an educational class, and what are the odds that Monday is at 2 and Thursday is at 9? So I keep ending up running late. So 3:30 on Monday. Zoom is at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Monday is Pacific Standard also. And then I'm going to skip Thursday. Okay, so if you enjoy seeing me on YouTube live on Thursdays, join us on Wednesday on the Zoom. It's much more personal and a lot more fun. Well, it's just that it is for me, because I get to see your faces. You guys get to see me, in all my get-ups, and I don't get to see you. So I greatly enjoy that. So I'm sharing that, Miss Carol, so that if Lorenzo is able to join, that he can, because we were going to sing happy birthday to him last time and I had to cancel. And I plan to reschedule, but at the pace things are going, I figured we'll just stick with our regular schedule. And then Bible study and Kids Corner. I'm just skipping Thursday morning just to make sure I don't end up in a overwhelmed coma from communications. So let me see here. Deb says my pineapple weeds have all dried up in my garden. Yeah, anything in direct sun is just dying from the heat. It's just terrible. Carol says front courtyard with gate and walls, so all veggie growing is safe to come with me. So glad I did it all in tubs. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so then things are relocatable, movable. There we go. That's much better. I don't look like I only have one eye. Plus, it won't be annoying me as much. All right, so, all right, Deb. She says I can't stand my hair in my face and hard to see others with hair in their face. Yeah. I knew that it would be tricky out here with the wind. It's really breezy. It's so awesome. I have all the windows open in the house, and it's really nice and pleasant in the house, but I could not stay cooped up a minute longer. I really have been feeling very cooped up with the heat and the smoke. It's terrible. I got to show you something else. This is kind of funny. She's not fully underneath, but when she gets too hot, I've been out here and I've been taking in the sun on some occasions, detoxing. She actually crawls underneath that. So what's really funny is it looks like she has tattoos right now because she's got grease marks all over her from climbing underneath and hitting the pumpkin underneath the truck. So just really funny. She's got limited spaces to find shade too. And I guess there it's a little warmer than it is over here. So anyway, Carol says, yes, I will be able to join. Woohoo. I'll make sure he's here. Awesome. That's so cool. I'm so excited. And Tammy too, if your littles are able to, I don't know what what it'll look like next Wednesday. But kids are always welcome. Everything at Trayer Wilderness is clean and educational, and it's just a fun time to join and get to see faces of everybody and meet everybody from all over the world, because we literally have people joining us from all over the world. Carol's in the UK. Keith is in New Zealand. I want to say it's Peter that is in Germany, and we have people all over, plus all over the United States. So it's really awesome to gather and learn from one another, because from different location to different location, things are done differently. You know, Keith has been in New Zealand, has been a wealth of information in sharing different aspects of things with our audience. So it's been pretty awesome. He's a wealth of information. He's done a lot in his life, so that's really awesome. And it's great to have people sharing. And that's what's important. That's what this is all about, is to be able to gather and encourage and inspire, but also share information with one another and grow in our knowledge. It's just awesome. So, Miss Deb says, I've been grazing on my purslane that is all over my garden. So good and nourishing in multiple ways, adding lots of daily garden fresh salads. Yum. I am so anxious for a fresh, real tomato, not the store-bought that should just be set out for decoration. I struggle with that, because there is nothing better than a fresh tomato off the vine. And I know they have the vine ripened tomatoes in the stores, but they're still pithy and mealy. It's just not the same. I do have a semi pithy tomato in the house, and we're having BLTs tonight. So Carol says, "Ah, bless Copper. Where's the other one? I forgot the name." Rambler is in the house because he's getting worse and worse with his hearing and his sight. Like when we leave him out at night, if it's too dark, we have to like shine a headlamp for him ahead of him, or he's like hitting things and falling into holes, and it's pretty bad. But he's happy. He's a happy camper. I just figured it would be better if he was inside and she was outside. She can keep an eye on things and be her guardian self, and that way I don't have to worry about losing him or him falling into something. So he's inside. And I did share with you guys that Bowser is up with Austin, right? That is working out really awesome. Really, really awesome. Let me see. Carol says, I have little tiny balls just appear on my tomatoes. I'm so excited. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, your flowers turn into the fruit. I've got flowers again, and I'm hoping they turn into fruits. All of my stuff is growing underneath my woodshed because the sun has been so brutal and the heat has been so brutal that anything that's out in the sun is just getting annihilated. So I don't know if I can share it with you, and if you can see it. Can you see them there growing on the stand? Everything, that's where everything is growing right now. It didn't even make it into my bags because I was just trying to keep them alive. Even there in the heat, in the shade, I was struggling keeping them going. So it's been pretty crazy. This is definitely a really weird year for growing things. How are your things doing? Are they not like cooking in the sun out in your garden? Did you plant anything in your greenhouse, or did you just use your greenhouse to start things? Yay, Miss Jane is in the house. I just saw her jump on. Deb says, good idea. BLT today for lunch with fresh sourdough bread I got from Medical Lake Bakery. I purchased on my way home on Monday. I'll use kale and chard from my garden. Oh, that sounds so good. So good. Bacon in itself is a meal for me. The mountain man's like, are you gonna make any other he's so funny. His metabolism is high, and he gets twitchy if he doesn't get enough protein, but it's really funny. I think I shared with you before, when we first met him, Austin was like 9 or 10, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I'd make a roast on a Sunday, and the leftovers from that roast would last us throughout the week to have different meals. And then the mountain man comes into the picture, and I make that roast, and it was gone. Like that meal, it was gone. So I have to make like 2. If I wanted to last all week long, I'd probably need to make like 4 roasts at a time. It's kind of funny. Mr. Keith is in the house. Good morning, afternoon, or well, for you it's probably morning. You're a day ahead. But welcome, welcome. I got your letter yesterday. Yesterday? The day before yesterday, I think I got it. So thank you, sir. You are such a tremendous blessing. I did get the email worked out. There was actually a glitch, so I'm glad that that happened, so that I did know that there was a glitch. And I will email you later today, because I have some more things on my end to share with you and some questions. So thank you. Carol says, they are surrounded by concrete walls painted white, so I lost some lettuce, but everything else, touch wood, is okay. The slugs ate my savory cabbage. Lol. They enjoyed it. And she says, I'm watering my plants between 11 and 12 p.m. I water everything early in the morning or at dark here. Just because if you water things during the day, if you're a new gardener and you're not aware of it, if you water things during the day, oftentimes it causes it to struggle because you get the moisture on it, and then the sun has a better chance of baking it even more. At least that's what I've found, and so I like to water early morning and in the evening too. Of course, we've been working on going to bed early and getting up early, so like 7:30 is our bedtime. It's sad. I feel like a really old person because my grandparents used to do that. But I'll tell you what, there's so much benefit in getting up early in the morning, especially for me, because I love writing in the early mornings. So it's been really working out good. Let me see here. Deb says, my garden is doing okay. Flowers on scarlet runner beans are just falling off before the beans have a chance to form. Other beans are starting to firm. Tomatoes, there is a bug climbing across my glasses. Tomatoes really slow, lots of flowers drying up. It's like a little net there. Die. Jane says, cabbage and herbs are fine. Corn looks awful. It tasseled at 2 feet. Beans are great. Cucumbers are good. Lemons, limes, figs, nothing. Fruiting yet, but I really didn't expect this year. Yeah, those were all new for you, right? Those were all new. The fruit was new for you, Jane, right? Yeah, it's really crazy. I should have really taken a video of Austin's backyard. The fella that's in charge of the house there is a landscaper, and he takes great pride in his garden. Now, I will say, I won't be eating anything from his garden. It looks beautiful, but he's using Miracle Grow and everything. And it's funny, I didn't know that right off. I was talking to Austin in the backyard the other day on Sunday, and I'm like, oh, his garden is beautiful. I would love to steal a tomato. He goes, you're not going to want to eat any of his stuff. And I don't even know that he and I ever had the conversation about Miracle Grow, but he hears me teaching and everything. And just knows that I can't have things. And he goes, you're not going to be able to eat any of his stuff. He uses Miracle Grow. And just kind of kept walking. And I was like, well, praises for that Austin at least knows, you know. I mean, but it looks really nice. He's struggled with the heat too. But they've been keeping things watered. And the yard is like probably as big as my house. But he's got it really well organized. But let me see here. Deb says, haven't seen very many pollinators, hardly any bees. I have the bees. I can't plant anything out in the sun because as soon as I do, it all dies. Deb says, my greenhouse is empty in this heat, been getting to 120 degrees. We'll hopefully get to put some greens in it this fall for winter. That'd be awesome. And yeah, it is sad with the bees. I was talking to the mountain man today. He's off the homestead right now working, and during the day, and he was sitting outside, and this bee came flying at him, and he was like, oh my word, and he killed it. And he took a picture and shared it with me. It was the creepiest looking thing. It had wings like a fly, but the huge body of a bee or hornet. It was the strangest looking thing. It looked like some kind of muted fly bee bred thing. But there have been a lot of weird insects this year. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. I've just noticed the bees and the hornets seem like so much larger, and it's just been crazy. My bees are thriving though, and they're doing really well. I put water out for them, and it's funny. I think I told you guys at that one spot where we dug a hole for our well previously, and the spot that we were praying over is holding water, and the mountain man goes down there pretty regularly, and he says my bees are there all the time. You know, we put a bucket real close to them, but they're not using it, but they're going to the natural water, which is awesome. So I'm excited about my bees. I have an empty hive and I would love to fill it. I really want to catch a swarm. Let me see here. Deb says, my large watermelons are doing great, about the size of a smoky sausage. Going to have hundreds of them. Well, that's awesome. Watermelon is so good. But that's funny, the size. And they probably will taste a little smoky this year, don't you think? Oh. Killer bees. Yep, Jane. It was a weird looking thing. I don't like insects because I get bit and I have really weird effects from them. Hello, Melissa. Melissa is in the house. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I saw your post on the community. I did not get to post on the community this week. It's been really crazy. But in regard to Dr. Christine, I can't think of her last name. But yes, she is an awesome mold resource. I shared, I don't know if it's in the notes this week or not. I think I shared that Monday. Let me jump back real quick. Gosh, I got a zillion million notes since Monday. There There we go. Hang on. I will share this with you, the resource. But she is an extremely huge resource with molds. I had shared in our community, and I shared on the live on Monday in regard to a current summit going on. What did it just do? By the way, this is a little late to ask this, but I guess you can hear me okay. I've been having some struggles with my internet. It hasn't been very reliable, and I have got a lot of resources pooling on it right now. My phone died. Well, not entirely, but it's having issues, so they swapped it out, and I got a new one, but I had to swap all the data from one to the other, and I got a lot of data on my phone. Where do I have this link? Huh. Sorry, I'm trying to find this because it's really worth mentioning, however. So this week's topic was, and is, in regard to this fast pace of everything. And are you keeping up? Are you guys noticing the extreme fast pace of everything and how fast time is flying? I mean, I know they say as you get older, time flies, but this year has been insane. I'm in awe. I'm totally in awe. And I was just curious how you guys are feeling about it. And are you feeling like you're keeping up? I feel like I'm racing, constantly racing. I don't like that feeling. I know what I can check. Maybe. It's not downloaded on my phone yet. All right. I'll share it with you later then in the description. I don't want to keep searching here while I have you guys, but Miss Jane says, I saw a fish someone videoed. It looked like a person's face with piranha teeth. That's creepy. Everything's being morphed into something else. Well, and then they're doing all kinds of cloning experiments with animals and everything else. Yeah, everybody out here is so worried about Sasquatch. I'd be okay if he joined me at the fire. It would be the other things I'd be concerned about. Oh my goodness. I take a lot of notes. I'm really taking a lot of notes right now with this class I'm taking, so it's been pretty wild. And at the pace I'm going, it's like every day I'm making like 10,000 notes. So trying to find a note from even earlier this week is like insanity. I'm getting closer. Let me see here. I do want to share that with you. But we'll see how easy it... I found it. As it just disappeared. All right. Let me see. Well, yes, Dr. Jill Krista, thank you. I wasn't even close, but thank you. Deb says my kooks and other melons are showing up. Kajari melon seeds doing well. So exciting. Want to share seeds with others. That's awesome. Yes, I'm totally game. Totally game. Oh boy. I think if somebody wants to check this for me, it's trayerwilderness.com/chronic illness summit. If you would check that for me and make sure that that is correct, I would so appreciate it because it's really worth sharing. It's called the Mycotoxin and Chronic Illness Summit. And mycotoxins are your mold. And there is definitely a correlation to a lot of this because mold hangs in a lot of people's systems. I have a mutated gene, so I don't break down mold on my own. I've got to force it. Same with heavy metals. So it makes mold detoxing and heavy metal detoxing almost a necessity for me because otherwise my system just hangs on to it, and hence why I was as sick as I was. Jane says, I did a flower seed share in the spring with another group on YT. Fun. Very awesome. And are you getting them from all over the world or just all over the United States? Jane says 156 days until Christmas. Oh, that's just crazy. That's just so crazy. Deb says, my son thinks time is flying by too. So weird for a teenager to feel that. I think it's real. Yeah, it's just really, really strange. Oh my goodness, I got to share a praise with you. Okay, so you guys know that all that's been going on for the mountain boy. Washington changed a law there that if a student starting in one of their colleges has a GED or a diploma, is that right? From a high school, or they've lived in the state for a month before starting school, that they are considered a Washington resident, which is tremendously huge in our circumstance. And we weren't certain how much that would change things for Austin, but his tuition would be less. So we got a $233 credit, like $234 credit last week into his account. And I believe that was the tuition decrease. And he will be able to apply in August for an opportunity grant, which will help give him $1,000 a year towards tools. His tool expenses are about $7,500 plus. So it's pretty extensive. So things are still transitioning from him now becoming a Washington resident. And yesterday, and I think I shared with you guys that I've been seeing duplicate and triplicate numbers. So this really was pretty wild. For the next 4 terms for his financial aid, he will be getting $1,444 extra just because of that transition. So his tools will be pretty much paid for, which is just tremendous. I'm just so excited. I mean, most of these kids go to school, and I mean, as parents out there, you guys got to chase grants. Seriously, there are so many different grants available for these kids, and unless you like really dig, you don't know they're there, and they don't offer the information. I'm a digger and I'm a seeker, so I just keep seeking because we can't help him, but I want to help him in other ways. So we've been like chasing grants and finding out about different programs that are available that he might be able to participate in. And this is just huge. I mean, AutoZone also has a program for tuition reimbursement, but that's, I believe, for full-time employees. He's going to have to remain part-time, but there's so many things out there for these kids. So I just want to encourage you, if you are a parent that is seeking college for your children, and seek and ask. I know everybody on the staff at the Spokane Community College, and if I don't, I will, because it's just like I'm constantly asking questions and being led to different people and different programs, and it's really awesome. And the other thing that was really crazy is in my errands the other day, the radio in the car shows the time, and then it shows the radio station, and it'll show the song that's playing. And I've told you before that when I see the duplicate, triplicate, quadruplicate numbers, to me, that's a sign from God, especially how it's been coming across to me. And like I shared with you, a lot of times when you see those numbers, it's that you're stepping into your higher self, that you're stepping into a more spiritual place. I almost stopped the car, but was able to get a picture of it without stopping the car, and I didn't wreck. But it was 11:11 on the clock, and the word behind it was Savior. It was like so awesome. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. And, you know, it's very clear that God is present in Austin's life and that he is walking out God's will. And Austin and I were talking yesterday, and he said how he really likes it there. He really sees his purpose there. And I think with the autism, he can see how people are struggling because he sees such detail in their personalities, in a lot of different ways. And he knows, he's kind of, I don't want to compare him to a dog, but you know how dogs know when you need loving and when they can sense that you need healing and that you're sick. Animals are really, really in tune. Well, I think because of the autism, so is Austin. So he's been be able to be such a light to these guys up there that are on a healing journey themselves. And when I was up there Sunday, I think I might have mentioned this Monday, but it was really awesome to hear this and to see this, that people actually sought me out to tell me how awesome it is having him there, and how positive and happy he is, and how he is real nurturing. And I was just so excited about that. And, you know, I keep check on him, because sometimes when you are that way, because I'm an empath, so I have to be cautious. You know, I'm watching him to make sure that he's not being drained by it, but it's actually fulfilling him. So it's really awesome to see that. And I asked him also, how was his job going at AutoZone the other day, and he goes, it was nice. Now, you have to understand, Austin's whole life, if you ask him how things were, he'd say good. That's all he would say. So then you'd have to like drag it out of him, what he meant by good, what, you know, what was good, what did good mean in this situation, kind of thing. And the other day I got nice. He was texting me. He's like, it was nice. So when I was up there on Sunday, because I think that was Saturday that he said that, when I was up there Sunday, I'm like, okay, explain to me why, when you always say that things are good, that yesterday was nice. What was the difference? What do you mean? He said, I just really, and it's so enjoyable. So I said to him, I said, you haven't had any real nasty customers? He goes, they come in sometimes, but he said, most of the people are so nice, and it's so nice being able to help them. So it's really cool to see that he's finding another area of his life that he's excelling in, and it's not just at work, but in the house with these guys that he's surrounded by. It's pretty awesome stuff. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So, you know, when you're doing your gratitude journal, there's lots to be grateful for. I can't just write 3. And yes, Deb, it is really crazy that, you know, the kids are noticing it, that things are flying by. It's really weird. Jane says, yes, when our young ones say that time to listen. Yeah, and it's like, what is making that happen? Like, I don't understand. Jane says US, and then Jane says lower tuition, and that's awesome. Yeah, it's so, I'm just so excited. So when I saw that yesterday with the additional increase in the grant and funding money, and we haven't even applied for the Washington grants. There's like 3 Washington grants that we could apply for, and right now I don't know that I want to, because I think he's set up really well. I'd almost feel guilty for applying for those, because maybe there's other kids that need it. So it's really awesome. God is just doing amazing things. You know, we're going to pray about those other grants, and if God nudges us that direction, then we'll go that direction. But otherwise, I'm just so awed. Jane says that's awesome. Yes, it is so awesome. And Deb says praises for Austin. Yeah, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I love it. Carol says that truly is an awesome blessing. I'm so happy for him. Yeah, it's just really cool. And it's really good for him, because it helps him see that he is where he belongs. And it's really cool. Jane says ours is heading back for her master's next fall. Tell her to chase grants, because, man, there is so much opportunity, because truly it's amazing to see that the states and the government are really wanting these kids to excel in school. Even with the FAFSA, when you apply for that, you get grants, but you also have the opportunity to apply for their loans. We have vetoed all the loans, trusting God to provide everything he needs. And I'm so grateful we have, because I really felt that's what God was leading us to do. And there are so many grants out there, and so many different programs out there, for special needs, for the different programs, for trades. I know at Spokane Community College, the band Metallica actually has a full scholarship. I think theirs is a scholarship, but it covers tuition, housing, food, tools, books, whatever they need if they are chosen. It's extensive. So it's neat to see, you know, even someone like them giving back, because I don't know what the connection there is. curious, but they're promoting trades because it's so hard to find people in trades today. Plumbing, electrical, construction. I mean, out here in Idaho, and I could go, and I do know how to use a hammer, and I do know how to use some of the tools, but I could go and apply for a contractor's license today and spend 35 bucks and be granted. There's no restrictions. There's no, like, they don't not accept you, and they don't test you, and they don't require verification. It's a little alarming. We've worked behind some of that already. It's not good, but we'll change that. We need more kids in the trade is what I'm saying. Let me see here. So we will be praying for your daughter, Jane. If you want to share her name, we will be praying for her. Jane says it should go by hours, Tammy. It's usually part-time for the reimbursement based on GPA. Oh, at AutoZone? Yeah, probably. Because I know, like with Tammy's son, he's considered part-time employee, but he's working over 40 hours a week. So yeah, good point. Deb says, me too. I see 1111 all the time along with other number sequence patterns, so in tune to our higher power of God. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. And you know what? Up until last year, I'd every once in a while see 1111, but I've never seen numbers like I have. The day I moved Austin, I saw this 2 times in the day. There's a billboard up there that has 444, 444, 444, for real. I was like, no stinking way. I took a picture and sent it to Glenn. He's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no. And you know, that's just, he's ahead of me all the time, showing me that what we are doing is right. And it's just a good confirmation. Jane says, so great to build his confidence. He's going to do so well. He has changed so much. I told him last night, I said, on Sunday, you and I need to do an interview. I said, you can be such an inspiration to the autism community right now for them to see how much you have changed in just 1 year. I mean, it's so incredible. People, like when he's come home for Easter or Thanksgiving, my one friend visited on Saturday afternoon, and she's like, I cannot believe the complete change in him and how outgoing and how more vocal he is, and that it's just been really awesome. Yeah, God is definitely transitioning him. Deb says, that's my son. Good, fine, few words on text especially. Yeah, it's really funny. It's just, and that's, everybody's made mention of that because that's just been his go-to word, is that everything is good, which is good. He truly is good, but he doesn't realize that, you know, we're looking for more. It's just like Glenn's grandfather. He was a man of very few words too, and you know, locals would ask him, so did you get a deer this season? Yep. End of conversation. Well, what did you get? A deer? You know, it was really funny about that with Austin. Everything we joke about is in good humor, and in joking about it, he has thick skin. It's good. That's a good thing to have. Jane says, Deb, but when they want something, their vocabulary is that of English scholars. No kidding. It's really funny. The other day, I was chatting with Austin, and he had to go somewhere, and he's like, I gotta go, and boom, he was off, right? So then a couple days later, Glenn and I are there, and he's talking to me, and we had to go, and I could not get off the phone with him. He would not hang up, and Glenn's like, pretty amazing how fast he gets off when he needs to get off. It was really funny. So yeah, you still see those things. Kids will be kids. Oh. Deb says, information overload is every aspect makes us feel like we can't keep up, I think, and feel. Yeah, you know, good point. Because, man, there's a lot to take in these days. You know, a lot to take in. Melissa says, that's great, Tammy, about Austin. Yeah, I'm really praising God. You know, it's awesome to see. And I want to share that with you guys because this has been a learning lesson for me. I have never, you know, when I went to college, it was for individual courses, and I didn't have all this, I didn't have to delve in so deep, and I was close. I could drive there and drive home, where here he's 2 hours away. So, you know, full-time job finding housing, full-time job making sure he's connected right in the school and that he's understanding everything. So, you know, I've kept a hand in that only to make sure that he's understanding things properly and that he's doing things that he needs to do. You know, that he's not just getting emails and seeing them and disregarding them. And, you know, he's been shining through with that. He's been taking care of stuff. So it's really awesome. But it didn't hurt as a backup to get him started there so that he knows what's required of him and what his responsibilities are. Oh, Miss Carol, you're a gem. Miss Carol says, hit the like button, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, guys, please hit the like button, share, comment. Comment while we're live. If you're out there watching and you're afraid to join us, please don't be. We have such an amazing community of like-minded people, and they will accept you immediately. We love having new people join. And also, if you're watching the replay, leave your comments. We see them all. I don't always get a chance to reply to them all, but I do see them and I do read them. And if you guys ask questions, I usually field those in the next videos, so as well as try to answer them. But and join our community. We have a community outside of YouTube. You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/community. It's free. You have options there to donate to us if you like, if you feel that what you're gaining from us is helping you in any way, but it's a free community. And it gives you an opportunity to share what you're doing in your space and also learn what others are doing in theirs. And also to ask questions. There's lots of vulnerability, lots of openness. It's very awesome. So, and then you can also join us on our community Zoom the last Thursday of every month. So thank you, Miss Carol, for doing that. Let me see. Shelley said, that is such a blessing that Austin is enjoying his new job. Great experience. And welcome. I didn't see you sneak in. Jane says she just paid $23,000 off in federal loan. She works hard. We'll still have bills. Oh, man. Well, tell her to chase grants, because there are some amazing grants out there. You know, they support women looking to run their own businesses. So when you're schooling with the intent of running your own business, there's lots of grants there. But there's so many different programs available, and so many different churches wanting to support kids in school. So it really doesn't hurt to do some legwork. Like I said, it has been a full-time job in a lot of ways that has kept me from other things, but you can also see the results I've gotten, and it's amazing. And, you know, that's what these grants are there for, you know, and that's why I also said that, you know, he's so set up, I don't feel right taking more. You know, he's at such a good place, and there's so many kids out there. Plus, Jane, there is a stimulus available for the students, so she should be able to apply for that. Carol, wow, Jane, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it truly is. Truly is. I think that the program Austin is in right now is like a $30,000 program. Moody's full program was like $95,000 for the whole program. That includes his licenses. Would have included his pilot's license and such as well, which is extensive. But it's pricey. It's very, very pricey. Miss Deb says, frying bacon for my BLT while listening. I knew I smelled something. I'm going to put mine out on my grill later. It's so awesome. I bake it in the grill, and that way you don't have grease all over, and it bakes up really fast. Plus, my grill is in the sun, so it like already has heat in it, so it cooks a lot faster. Yum. I can smell it now. I can hear it sizzling. Wish I could share with all of you who would enjoy. Yeah, because isn't it Jane that doesn't like bacon? Jane, you don't like bacon, right? Somebody in here doesn't. I forget who it is. Carol says, Debs, can you make it really crispy, please? Right, exactly. Exactly. Jane says boot fillers, 6 months to fix my washing machine new under warranty. They wouldn't listen. Knew it was the thermistor. Replaced pump, control panel, 3 trips here, finally checked. Isn't that ridiculous? Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? Oh my word. You can only try, right? You can only try. But it's fixed now, so there you go. Now you can wash with your new washing machine 6 months later. That's insane. I would write the company. Carol says, oh, wow, Jane. Yeah, that's terrible. Shelly says, well, Deb, guess I could have bacon out of that crispy, please. Leave the rest off as not in my food I am to consume. Tammy says, we might be able to. Jane says, now it leaks, so I called LG this morning. You're kidding me. Yeah, I'd be calling the company at this point, too. Okay, I got to shift because this side of me is cooking. Mrs., did you have to come out of the heat, too? Are you? Yeah, look at you. You're cooking. You're sweating and huffing. All right, guys, so we got to do a little maneuver. So share your praises and your prayer requests while I relocate. I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. It's probably going to take a little because my one leg is completely asleep. And I don't want to spill the coffee that's over here. Oh, look, the tripod's coming right with me. Isn't that nice? Here we go. So maybe it won't take as long. Yeah, I got to get my phone out of the sun, too, or it will. How hot is it? Not too bad. All right. So I moved a little. So let's see here. Ah, bacon. Yummy, chewy bacon. Right. Bacon sounds good, but I'd be ill. Yes, I thought it was you that doesn't like the bacon. I know, Shelly. I said that last week. Jane, do you think it's a lemon as they named it? That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Carol's yummy. And yeah, I know what I'm doing when I'm off of here. Then I'm taking a hike in the woods. Mrs. Copper and I are going to take a hike in the woods because I have Bible study tonight. For any of you out there that are interested in joining a Bible study, you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Bible Study Book Club. And don't feel like you need to be a scholar or know your Bible. That's not what this is about. This is, I mean, yes, it's about learning the Bible, but you can join at any level. If you're new to the Bible and have a new relationship with God, don't feel like you can't join us. That's not what it's like at all. We will nurture you and welcome you, and we are all learning together. And it is a really awesome, wholesome time. Which reminds me, if you would please pray for Miss Rhonda. Rhonda was part of our Bible study. Rhonda joins us here on the lives and also on our YouTube. And Rhonda and I have been good friends for a very, very long time, since we started. And she's having some health issues, so I just wanted to ask if you would please lift her in prayer. I would so greatly appreciate it. She's a gem and such a sweet lady, and I knew you guys would pray wholeheartedly for her. So if you could please lift Rhonda, I greatly appreciate that. And also lift her husband, Harvey, because anytime we're having health issues, you know that our spouses are struggling too. So if you could please pray for him, I would greatly appreciate it. So Shelly says, I do not do pork at all unless bacon or smoked ham. Rest just is gut rot to me. I can only do grass-fed and where I know it came from, pork. And yeah, because the nitrates will kill me. And ham, I have to be really careful with. I like pork roast, like a butt roast, and that much more than the ham, just because I think it's the salt that gets the best of me after a while. I'm not sure, but I do. Ham is a huge favorite. We're hoping to get our smokehouse in place then too, but that won't be till winter. Greenhouse and well are up and coming, I pray. Things have been so crazy and so fast-paced. It's crazy. Jane says LG has been good. They seemed very concerned with the repair companies here. Awesome. Never hurts to contact the company. And, you know, they may like your feedback with whatever is wrong, if it's just, you know, yours or if there are other problems, you know, it'll be helpful for them to rectify the situation. Deb says, yes, more bacon for you too, Carol. Oh, Melissa says, I like your hat, Tammy. Thank you. It's a bang. It's a bang tamer. That's what I have it for. I have my cowboy hat, and I had another hat like this, and it was old and it got worn. So, and my cowboy hat has too long of a brim. It drives me crazy. I don't know if it's since I'm sick or what, but that brim sticks out too far and it just makes me feel wonky. So it's hanging on my wall in the house. It looks nice hanging there. This one is perfect for the woods. I love it. I love it. I love it. And for the bangs, because my bangs are absolutely annoying right now. Carol says, love you, Debs. Thank you. I could just eat that. Yeah, no kidding. How about it? Bacon is my favorite food group. Miss Laura's in the house. She says, I'm canning beef stew today. 92 degrees out here. My phone is yelling that it is overheating. I bet. Well, and I've got to move one more time here because I didn't move far enough the first time. I think Mrs. Copper was looking at me because she's ready to go inside. Bear with me here, guys. Whee! All right. Sitting in an awkward position, so my legs are asleep. Not good. I'll stumble after the live, not now. Okay, so let's see here. What else have we got going on? Yeah, and that's hot to be canning, Laura. Are you canning outside or inside? At that temperature, I don't know which is best. Must be outside if your phone's yelling it's overheating. So, okay, Blondie, that made sense now. Sorry. Jane says, Shelly, me too. I like it, but it doesn't like me. Yeah. And you know what? Learning to know and learning to listen to our bodies is such a blessing. Honestly, it will teach us so much if we're willing to listen. You gotta listen. It's like with the ham. It's like, I know I probably won't feel good if I have it, even if I get an organic, non-GMO ham, which I do have at good health food store near Jane, actually. And they're really good hams, but I all within moderation. Deb, you're killing me. Toasted sourdough and fresh garden tomatoes. Just added my fresh salad on top. Nice. I'm going to have my BLT and I'm going to add some avocado to it. Avocado is my other food group that I like. Jane says, Laura, 92, yikes, stew will be so yummy this fall and winter. How about it? And I'm sure you will detox and lose a couple pounds standing there in that heat like that. Oh my goodness. Not to mention the heat coming off the canner. Deb says, good to remember Rhonda with prayers. She is amazing, along with her husband, Harvey. Yeah, they're amazing folks. Absolutely amazing folks. She holds a dear place in my heart. We connected and we're like, it was just that instant connection. It's a special friendship. So yeah, if you could keep her in prayer, I would really appreciate it. Shelly says, I did not do my walk yet today. I usually go first thing in the morning, but it just did not fit in this morning. My phone was in need of charging, and with my daughter showing up now, and again, I need it. Yeah, safe to go with it and not without it. Maybe you'll get one in this evening. I'm going to go again tonight because of the moon. It's just, oh, it's so awesome. And my girl absolutely loves being able to go with me. So, but the heat doesn't do her well. I like to try to walk 5 miles, and I have to work her up to that. She's getting old, and I'm really seeing it when we're walking. She just gets really tired out. So I don't want to hurt her any more than I have to, especially in this heat. And there's only one water hole on the walk. So, and of course it's right in the beginning when she doesn't really want to be bothered by it. Laura says, we cleaned out our second freezer this week and a few roasts wouldn't fit back in. There you go. Perfect timing to make stew. It's exactly what we would do. Shelly says, Laura, I would love to do that also. Do you have a recipe for doing canning stew? I like to have some ready-made foods for when busy. Well, you guys got to remember, anytime you make any kind of soup on your stovetop, if you have leftovers, you can jar that and then put it in your pressure canner and just can it. Same with broth. I love being able to can my bone broth and my soups. And I'd much rather, when I have excess soups of any kind, I would much rather can them than freeze them, because they end up getting freezer burned in my freezer over time. And I tend to forget they're in my freezer rather than if they were on my shelf. So I love being able to do that. Carol says, I'm just going to eat my dinner, guys. I'll be back. We did it. All the bacon talk and the sourdough bread. Oh, man. Jane says, I'll take a tomato pie. You know what else is really good is corn pie. When we used to freeze and do corn every year, we would be shucking the corn and getting all the corn off the cob and doing that whole process. And we would make corn pies. So it would have, you know, milk and salt and pepper and hard-boiled eggs and the corn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was the best part of doing corn every year. Plus, you'd eat yourself that your eyeballs looked like corn was going to pop out of it. I mean, it was insane. It was so good. I miss that because it's harder to grow corn out here, and the corn that is out here that is available has no flavor whatsoever. So I'm very anxious to grow our corn, and I'm anxious to grow my popcorn. And I've got enough space here that I can do that they don't cross-pollinate. So, nice. Laura's going to put a link in the community. Good girl. Awesome. Thank you for that. So she'll have the recipe in the community. Shelly says, I am planning a walk a little later. Need to read the chapter for Bible study this afternoon. Brother has been here, so have been busy. Yeah, I got to listen to it too. So I will be doing that while I'm walking through the woods. So Laura says, Lol, sometimes you just got to can when things are ready to be canned. Exactly. You know, you can't let it sit. Deb says, ah, yes, avocado, going for it now. Maybe a bit of hummus and Swiss cheese too. I always add more on everything. Oh, that sounds so good. Yum, yum, yum. Shelly says, thank you, Laura. I would love to make stew for if I get called to work, so I have foods that I can eat to take with me. Yeah, so easy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shelly says, Deb, with all that added food ideas, will you be able to open your mouth to fit it in? Ah, exactly. That sounds like something the mountain man would say to me. Jane says, duh, why haven't I been canning leftover soup? I usually freeze. It's okay. I usually was freezing it too. And then I realized that, you know, when it's in the freezer, I end up not using it. Same with the broth. Or not that I don't use it, but it doesn't get used up right away. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. But when it's in a jar, it's so much easier to just grab and use. And the thing is, too, when I freeze it all in one big container because of the way our freezer's set up. Having propane freezers, you have less space, and I use square containers. And my square containers are larger. So, yeah, I think canning things like that makes it so much easier. So much easier. Deb says, canning all leftovers reminds me of my Grams with everything she made. She'd can something almost every day. Wish I had her in my life right now. Yeah, that's so awesome. It's funny how you think of the things they used to do. And with the soup, one of the things the mountain man and I would love to do, and I'll tell you what, if we have a gathering ever, this is something that we will be doing. When we had our chickens, I think I shared the story with you how I found that humongous big cauldron, the big cast iron pot when I was on my motorcycle. It was at a yard sale that I got for $45. It was such a steal. And I did steal it out from under somebody. And just because of my enthusiasm. Pays to be enthusiastic. But we wanted to do up some of our chickens in there and boil our chickens over an open fire and make the bone broth and clean the chickens off then and make a really good chicken noodle soup or chicken rice soup or something like that in this pot and have friends over. So that is what we are going to do. If we ever have a gathering here, which I shouldn't say when we do, we'd really like to do that. You know, open it up to who would like to join us, and who can come kind of thing. But that will be one of the things we're going to do. So it would have to be at a certain time of year in order to have an open fire, unfortunately. So we'll have to see how that goes. Melissa says, yes, getting hungry. Just had lentil soup and zucchini from the garden. Foodie here. Yeah, I know. And I haven't, sadly, I haven't eaten anything yet today. I'm trying to bring my pH up, and I needed to do some things on an empty stomach, and then my class was, and then it ran right into this. So I haven't eaten anything yet, so my stomach, I don't know if you can hear it, but Deb's got it gurgling. Shelly says, I very rarely have leftovers, but I did make a batch of split pea soup and dehydrated it so it is easy to take and add hot water. That's cool. So kind of, in a way, you're making your own little cup of soup. Have you figured out how much to put in a container to make a good cup of soup that it has enough flavor in it? That's pretty awesome. Doing that kind of stuff, oh my goodness, guys, is just so incredible. To give yourselves, I mean, that is exactly how you start replacing the processed foods in your life, is by doing things like that. And yes, they do take time. I am like so excited because, as I said, I was foraging things. I'm getting out my solar dehydrator, and I'm going to be drying my teas and stuff. So I'm like super stoked about that. But every little step we take in our food consumption, food processing, food preservation is just one more step further in our preparedness aspects of life. So I think it's awesome. Laura says, praises. We found an Amish fresh garden store and another one with bulk foods. They were so nice, and I love the fresh picked. That is like such a huge plus. We had so many farm stands surrounding us and butcher shops at the farm that we left. And there were also Amish and Mennonite raw bulk food stores that were just awesome. The stuff you could get there was just so awesome. The prices were awesome, and the quality was awesome. So I'm envious in a little bit of a way, but I'm excited for you tremendously because I greatly missed having that stuff readily available. That's so, so awesome. You're actually getting real tomatoes. Oh, yum. Oh, yes, I have a big mouth. Love good food. Deb, you're too funny. Jane says, Laura, that's great. Yeah, isn't it? I wish we had more of that around here. There is just not much around. And the people that do grow things and they sell them for what they, you know, because they're grown organically, they put such a high price tag on them. And it's not that it's not worth, I would pay for good food, but it is right here local to me. The prices they put on are so insane. I at the time when I was checking, there was no way I could have afforded their prices. It was just nuts. So it's a shame, but that's why we've got to focus on growing our own food and being able to sustain ourselves. But having stands like Laura has close by are such a bonus. Jane, how is that? I know you mentioned it the other day, that you were at the farmer's market. What is the quality like there? Because I've never had the opportunity to stop because I'm always up there when on the off days. On my way home from Austin's, I came on a really back, like, wagon train kind of road. And there was a farm stand there, and they are only open Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I'm hoping that my next trip up there will be a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I will make it a point to stop there because it was a really neat place. Shelley says, we do not have any Amish on the island, but I do think that there are some Mennonites. Oftentimes, the Amish and Mennonite do similar things, and they both practice living very similarly. So you can, if you can't find one, oftentimes you can find the other, which is huge. Miss Jane says all that's needed is fresh baked bread. I love fall. I love soup. I know, right? That's my, I said to the mountain man the other day, I walked in the morning and of course everything is dying right now because it is so dry. So normally when I would see what I was seeing, it would be the start of fall. I know that that's not the case right now, but I've been wearing shorts most of the time on the homestead and for like the last 3 weeks because it's been so horrible hot. Either shorts or capris, and put jeans on, I don't know, I think it was Monday, and then I have jeans on today, and it's like I'm happy to be wearing my cowboy boots again. I like being able to wear a tank top or a t-shirt with a, you know, like a long sleeve blouse over top and be comfortable. And then, you know, then that progresses to the flannel and then it progresses to the sweater. And I love fall. I do too. I absolutely love fall. And the smell of fresh baked bread, I mean, I smell that now, but it's coming out of my grill. To have it in the house, I don't know. There's just such a comfort with fall food and the fall weather. We do soup potlucks at Christmas Eve. So fun. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds real nice. Deb says, it's your fault, Tammy. You mentioned BLT first. Yes, I did, didn't I? I did. That's because I was hungry. Now I'm starving. Shelly says, I have basically dehydrated all my raspberries this year. Got about 6 quarts so far. That's so awesome. So awesome. Being able to have those dehydrated foods is so, I just feel is so much more priceless than having the frozen foods. Freeze-dried, of course, gives you the more flavor. It holds in the flavor more so. But still, dehydrated foods are just such a blessing. And if you've got to go somewhere fast, if you go on a quick vacation or a day trip, there are things you can take with and easily and lightly pack and carry and have good meals. And you know what you're eating, you know. Deb says, oh, Jane, that is awesome. Such a great idea. Might have to head your way Christmas Eve. There you go. Jane says, well, there's a few that are selling pre-bought produce this time of year. But the organic blueberries, apricots, cherries, honey were my purchases. Okay, so the people that are selling pre-bought stuff, is it basically like stuff, it would be stuff from the grocery store. It's not necessarily organic, and it's once things start coming in season, then you have more of the people that are selling their extra produce, I imagine. And right now, the cherries have been so good, and I am loving my honey. Oh my goodness. Shelly says, I just was looking at my desk where I'm sitting watching you and found my recipes for the Worcestershire sauce, as the store-bought has stuff in it and I cannot have it. I forgot to get a link for you guys for today. All right. I will share this with you. And then I got to share a book with you, and I will share it in, I don't even have it with me to show you. So I will share it with you. How about in the community? I'll share it in the community. But I did just create, here we go. All right. I know I'm speaking to Laura right now. I don't know how many others, but my dear friend, Elizabeth Jane, she was initially in the UK. She's now in the New England states. I shared her keto bread book on my free bread baking course. Her recipes are awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I shared that because I do a lot of keto stuff, and I do gluten-free. And so with the specialty diets, I was sharing a lot of that stuff in my bread course. And she just came out with a keto meal planner. So for those of you that like to plan meals and are struggling with it and are on the ketogenic diet, this is where you want to go. TrayerWilderness.com/KetoJane meal planner. She's really sweet, and she's got a lot of books, and she's got books on her breads. Let me see if I can find her bread book for you guys. She's awesome though. Absolutely awesome. She's my go-to for any keto recipes. She was actually sharing one of my videos on her Amazon page because I was reviewing her book. I reviewed her book a lot a while back. Here we go. I think maybe I have it here so you can find her. Yeah. TrayerWilderness.com/Elizabeth Jane, and you will find all of her cookbooks. Her latest one is a keto sauces. And that's the one I'll share in the community with you guys. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing that, Shelly. You obviously sparked a loose connection in the brain. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of the sauces and salad dressings, well, there's only 1 or 2 brands of salad dressing that I will purchase. Everything else we make because there's either natural flavoring in it or MSG in it, or, you know, they're dairy and I need non-dairy. Dairy just does not settle well with me. So I'm constantly making my own sauces: barbecue sauce, hot sauce, mustards, hot mustards, honey mustards, ranch dressing, you name it. Awesome. Laura says, I need that recipe, Shelly. And nice, Shelly. Jane says, it's like eating candy. Oh, that's funny. The mountain man's candy is ketchup. That man goes, I should have stocks in ketchup. Shelly says, maybe I can make some untomato sauce and can it since I am not having tomatoes so that I can still have some spaghetti. There you go. Absolutely. Yeah, Jane says, yes, absolutely. Shelly says, Laura will share in the community. Awesome. Miss Deb says, I have to be honest, this BLT would probably be a $15 to $20 sandwich with all the fresh ingredients. I'm taking pics of my process for all of you. Key says, we have organic growers everywhere over here. GMO is totally banned. Yeah, that is just so awesome. I know Germany was that way too, that a lot of countries in your neck of the woods won't import anything from the United States, which is so smart. I love that your country is like that, because that is such an awesome thing when you know that the food you are eating is quality food. And I mean, the majority of the people here in the United States have to check label upon label upon label. It's just disgusting. And if you're not, you should be. So that is just so awesome. So awesome. And your animals are being fed non-GMO foods. You know, over here, that's even a task to find that. I had to pay out the nose for chicken feed. In the future, we'd like to make our own food, but for the animals, but that wasn't an option before. Laura says, Shelly, I believe you can pressure can Alfredo sauce. I will have to look for it. Another really great resource on somebody who does canning of meals and sauces. Hang on a second. And she's another dear friend of mine. But yeah, her stuff she does some pretty crazy stuff. Nuts. Where did it go? Like I said, I have way too many notes in my, oop, there she is. Okay. So, her name is Diane, and you can find her by going to TrayerWilderness.com/canningdiva. And let me see if I can find her books. Her books are quite awesome as well. I did some testimonials in some of her books, and the things that she does is just insane. I'll have to share those books with you guys next week. Here we go. Yeah, I'll have to share that with you guys next week, I think. But you can find her website. Let's see. Yeah, it's a complete guide to pressure canning and beginner's guide to canning. And that's 90 recipes to can, savor, and gift. And then she also has Canning Full Circle, from garden to jar to table, from the Canning Diva. So, and I know she has another new one. Her books are really well done. Oh, who was it that asked me about it? Melissa. I think you had asked about the soil and soil testing, and I want to share a resource with you. This is a fabulous resource. I love this book for a multiple reasons. It helps you with the soil in your garden, but it was really well done. It's got a lot of illustrations in it. It's just such a super pretty book. I know that sounds funny. It does sound funny, but let me see. I did not have the link. Shoot. All right, I'm going to share that too. So I got to make myself a note. I got to share the soil book, and I want to share these other books with you guys. I'll share them in the community when we're done here. I'll do that right away before I do anything else, including eating, because I will forget. But Melissa, you had asked about soil. This friend of mine does a lot of gardening and a lot of great stuff with herbs. So I will not only share her book, but I'll share a resource link to her website too. She's definitely worth following. She does some awesome stuff. Let's see here. Jane says, great, Deb. I'll put turkey bacon on mine. There you go. There you go. Shelly says, I do not have dairy either, so not Alfredo. But you could, you can still use your other non-dairy milks. Oh, I got to tell you guys this. I found a milk I don't like. It was bad. I love chia seeds. I use chia seeds on everything, and I use them to make all kinds of things. I absolutely love chia seeds, but I found chia seed milk the other day, and I thought, oh, that sounds like it'll go really good in my coffee. Ooh, it gives it a really funky taste. I'm not sure what I would use it in yet. I might use it in mashed potatoes this weekend and see, but it has a really weird flavor. So that's just my personal preference, but I just thought I would share that with you. But as I was saying to Shelly, I could see cashew and oat milk being really good choices to use in making creamy sauces. I use that now in my own, like, I don't can them, but I make sauces using them because they're thicker, a lot thicker than the other milks, creamier and flavorful. So cashew and oat milk are really good choices, and you can make those yourself. I know you can't get the different types of milks because of some of the preservatives and things in it, but you might try making them yourself. Both of those are easy to make. Melissa says, Shelly, there. Shelly says they have cashew dairy-free Alfredo. There you go. Yep. Jane says, Shelly, what about a pepper sauce, basil sauce? Man, you guys are killing me. I am hungry. Shelly says, there, my belly just went, oh, it was going long. Shelly says, I have to watch dairy-free as most have sunflower in it. But like I said, you should be able to make your own, and it's not terrible to do that. Jane says, do a pesto type, lots of garlic, basil, spinach, onion. Yum. Yeah, thanks for the bread tips. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to probably do an advanced bread course because I've been getting a lot of questions for people wanting to mill their own flours. And that is just such a fun thing to do, as well as just making the different types of breads. I don't typically eat a regular wheat bread. The Mountain Man does. I will eat a sourdough gluten-free bread, and I will eat keto breads, which is a lot of times almond flour, coconut flour, almond and coconut flour combination. quite a variety. So I will be sharing that moving forward. Jane says Linda's Pantry has canning also. There you go. And Jane says, did anyone watch Heather, the needy homesteader, make her first bread since her accident? I cried the entire video. Aw, because she had struggles doing it? I didn't. I saw it and I didn't get a chance to watch it. Now I'm going to have to watch it. My heart goes out to her. She's an overcomer though. But man, what awful things she's had to overcome. She's got such a sweet spirit, though. I love her to death. Shelly says, I love that we can share all these recipes. It makes it so much easier when you do not have to look and the person sharing have tried them. Some recipes are questionable. Yeah, and it's trial and error. And it's nice, though, especially when, you are on a specialty diet. It can get really costly if you're making a not so good recipe. Word of mouth is huge in that arena because gluten-free ingredients and even, the keto ingredients can be really pricey. And right now, all ingredients are pricey, but those tend to be a little higher in price. Deb says, haven't watched Heather's video yet. Enjoy her video with her dad a few weeks ago. Jane says, thanks. I need that resource too for the soil. Oh, you'll really like it. This lady is such a sweetheart. I've tried to get her on my radio show, but she's really introverted and she won't join me, but she's such a wealth of information and I treasure her. She's really, really knowledgeable and she is a real sweetheart. Jane says, oh, I read that one already. Melissa says, thanks. Okay. Jane says, Deb, yes, he's great. So happy she has him. Deb says, wish I could share my yummy sandwich with everyone. Who knew that I was supposed to thaw my bacon out yesterday? So glad I did. Yeah. Shelly says, I have to look into making my only dairy-free milks. Oh, yeah. Making your own milks is so nice. Having the things on hand to make them. I've mentioned before, I keep coconut powder on hand. Man, I'm getting cooked. I don't have much further to move. I'll show you. Look. So I'm running out of space here, guys. Oh, Mrs. Copper's laying right on the other side there in the sun. Poopy, are you cooking too? Sorry, that's a heck of a nickname. The mountain man named her that, and it just kind of stuck. I do want to read something to you before I forget. The other thing I wanted to mention today, or that was on the list today, was authenticity. And I have a question before I read this. How many of you are the same person no matter where you are? No matter what crowd you're in, no matter what situation you're in, or do you have a facade that you use in this situation and another in this situation? What's your story? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Sometimes that can be a true advantage. Gotta move. Sorry. Let's see if hopefully I don't lose any of my legs here or send you guys sailing. Sorry. I was really cooking. I'm still in the sun, but I can lean a little forward. I can kiss the camera now too. Sorry. Sometimes, okay, I can get along in any situation, in any group of people, always could. I could, all aspects of the cliques in high school, I could go into and be myself and still get along with everybody. And I'm very thankful for that because I see people that have to be somebody different in different environments. And for me, that would drive me crazy. I don't think I was meant to be an actress. So that to me would mean, in my opinion of myself, that I would need to be an actress in those situations and I couldn't be my authentic self. I am who I am and I'm okay with that. There have been times in my life I wasn't okay with that and I would worry what other people thought. It is so freeing when you get to a place where you really could care less. Not that other people's opinions don't matter, but I'm not living my life for them. I'm living it for God. Excuse me. And therefore, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And I even became more comfortable in my own skin after my surgery and after all of that. I am just very happy with who I am. I'm happy with how God created me. And I'm happy to be me in all scenarios. And I guess part of that is that if I'm in a situation and people don't like me for who I am, then that's okay, because that would be somebody I wouldn't want in my circle anyway, you know, because I don't want to have to perform for anybody. So to me, that's what authentic means to me, is being able to be who I am, the same in any situation, and not have to alter myself to please other people or to fit in, for that matter. Now, I can see that there are some maybe benefits at times to being a little different or needing to adjust to fit in, and that is if you are trying to reach people. I could still walk into, this is just what popped in my head as an example, but I could walk into a biker gang and be totally comfortable with who I am. Some people may not be able to do that. So you might feel like you need to change a little bit, or character play, or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, that was a scenario that came to mind, but I'm just grateful that in my life, I don't feel like I need to do that in any scenario, any circumstance. And quite honestly, I really fear nothing or worry about anything. So, you know, walking into a group of people that I wouldn't normally interact with, doesn't make me uncomfortable. I just be myself. So I hope this makes sense, and I would love your feedback. I jumped off the screen, so I can't tell if you guys are commenting. Okay, so we got comments coming on here. Let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. Good thought, Jane. Jane says, get the bags on Amazon to strain for your milk. All right. Yep. Jane says, I am what I am. I can imagine that with you too. Laura says, I tend to get much more quiet in groups of people I don't know, but I still have the same beliefs. I just don't need to prove to other people are wrong anymore. Right. And there are situations where I'm a little more reserved, especially especially if it's been going on for a long period of time. I just have nothing left to give in those situations. Being the introvert I am, I do tend to do that sometimes. Or sometimes it's good to go into situations and read the crowd and observe for a while. It's kind of like, I hate to say this because I can't tell you the last time I was in one, but like mall watching or airport watching, you know, the people in the airport. I mean, talk about comedy show. It's just always so fun to people watch. So just sitting back sometimes and taking it all in, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, it doesn't mean we don't have our beliefs aren't intact, but I get totally what you're saying, Laura, like that you're not as corrective, maybe. And I get that. I think that all comes with age too. But I'm talking about this though because I remember what it was like in school. You know, even though I got along with everybody, you know, there was that uncomfortable monster looming of all the cliques and all the nasties. Because I'll tell you what, if you ever want to, I don't know which is worse, high school or your first job experience out of high school, where you see all the cliques and the oddities that come with all kinds of people. And you know what? The world goes round, and there's always going to be odd and different people with different beliefs and all of that. But man, if I can share one thing in life, to be comfortable with who you are and in your own skin at an early age, that is just priceless, priceless, priceless. It's powerful. It's freeing. It's, I just love it. I love it. And, part of my struggle, it's amazing. I can see God's hand in my life at such a young age because my self-esteem was squashed like a bug at home. And it played into all the other environments I was in, church, school, social functions. You know, as a young kid, I didn't think very highly of myself. But yet God gave me an inner strength to mingle in all those groups and just I'm excited that who he made me to be was what dominated. I hope that makes sense. So it's a really freeing place though when you realize that you are beautifully and wonderfully made and that God has a plan in your life and that we're not um on a popularity contest and um what other people are doing doesn't really matter. And even to go as deep to say that if people don't like me, I'm okay with that. I really struggled with that for a long time, because I, couldn't understand what I would have done that would have made people, not like me. But the thing is, not everybody's going to like us, no matter how nice we are. And sometimes that, sadly enough, I found out later that some of the reasons that I wasn't liked in a certain scenario was because I was too nice. A lot of people question that when you're nice, they question that you're too nice because you want something, because that's their mentality. So when you give up caring about all that stuff and you just genuinely, truly are nice to everybody, caring, loving, and not affected by their opinionated views or their views in life, because we're all going to have different views on things. And good grief, if anything is to prove that, 2021 is one to prove it. I mean, my goodness, we've seen all kinds of stuff, and 2020, but when we are true to ourselves, I believe that we are also very true to God, because through God we become true to ourselves. I hope that makes sense too. But the more we believe in God's word and we trust his promises and we realize that we are loved dearly by him, regardless what other people think, and that we are on this earth to please him and nobody else, not even our spouses. I mean, yes, we want to, but ultimately we may not be able to. And that's okay. We're here to please God. And when we please God and when we are walking the walk and talking the talk and walking upright, our light shines. And we can't control other people's views and thinking or any of that, but we can only control ourselves. And I think authenticity is such a beautiful thing. And uniqueness is a beautiful thing, and standing firm in our beliefs. I think the more we stand firm in our beliefs, when we are called out or put on the spot, our beliefs we won't hesitate in sharing our honest beliefs in a very polite way, because we are standing firm on that place, if that makes sense too. So let's see here. Deb says, you get what you get with me. Sometimes I have to tone down my enthusiasm around some folks. My son says I'm over the top at times with my gestures and excitement. Yeah, I suppose that is the truth. Or they just learn to, I'm talking with my hands, I'm excited, I'm raw and I'm real, So yeah, I can see that though in both of us. So Deb says my morals and beliefs never waver. Amen. And you know what? Neither should how we feel about ourselves. We shouldn't question that. We should have such a great freedom in knowing we are beautifully and wonderfully made, and we shouldn't question. And we really need to be happy with who we are in all aspects. And man, when you hit that place, it's just as authentic and amazing as our morals and our beliefs. Deb says, I appreciate that I'm learning to listen better and more before I jump in with my opinions. There is something great to be said about learning to listen. I used to be one that I was so excited to share things with people that I didn't always clearly hear what they were saying to me because I was so worried about what I was going to say next. And when you disengage from that too, the conversations become so much deeper and everything becomes so much deeper. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I totally get that. Jane says, that's right. If I wear white socks with my Birkenstocks, that's my business. Or black. Oh, that's funny. I love it. I love it. Let me see here. Laura says, at my 15-year class reunion, I found out I was popular. Who would have known? I just accepted people for who they were and how they treated me. Didn't matter if they were brainiacs or potheads. I know, exactly. Me too. Me too. That's so funny. So funny. Yeah, and I always stuck up for the underdogs, you know, because they couldn't. And what's funny is in doing that, you know, I didn't end up hated. I just think I shell-shocked a lot of people sometimes. But you know, being who we are is really important. And you know what's really sad is sometimes in our lives we don't have the opportunity to truly be who we are until we are on our own. You know, I made great effort to be who I was and was totally misunderstood for 18 years. And now at 51, I find I'm still misunderstood heavily. But that's okay. I'm good with who I am. And I'm good that God loves me, and that's all that matters. Jane says, Christian or not, people need to stay in their own lanes. Yeah. Yep. Jane says, Laura, see you were real. Yes, exactly. And the more real we are, I think the more effects we can have on other people. Because most people that see real people want what they have because they're afraid to be authentic. They're afraid to be real. Most chances are they don't have boundaries in their lives. Most chances are they've been through things in their life and haven't overcome them, and they need Jesus. So Keith says, I have lived among many Native people as a minority of one and never worry about what other people think. I have had the best life of anyone I've ever met. And you know what? I think that is just so awesome. And you know what? Had you or I lived the life that we were supposed to live according to our families and had followed their mold of existence, we would not have lived the amazing lives we have. We were meant to break the mold, and we were meant to go against the grain, and we were meant to make a difference. And I totally believe that. And reading your letters, your emails, and listen to the things you say, you know, God had a plan in your life early on. And mine too, you know. And I'm grateful for where he led me. And I'm awed at where he led you. It's just really awesome. And you know what? It's so true. When we follow our authentic self, we walk out God's will for our lives. I truly believe that because we are being led by the Holy Spirit. That's my take on it. Laura says, thanks, Jane. Yep, exactly. And Deb says, good for you, Jane. I hardly pay attention to what people wear anymore. It's their character that is important to notice. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I don't care what the mountain man says about this hat. Because he thinks it's gunslish and he thinks that I look like I belong down under. But I don't really care. It keeps my bangs out of my face and I like it. And it's leather and it smells good. But he's adjusted. Before, when I used to wear my other hat, he wouldn't be seen with me. So he's improving. Because I is who I is. Oh, let me see here. Shelly says, I have been listening but had to make my lunch. Omelet with fried kale, salad, and garlic. Nutritional yeast and topped with sriracha. Yummy. Guys are killing me here. Shelly says, sorry, Tammy, for mentioning food again, right? Yeah. You know what I'm going to be doing after this? I'm sending links to the community and then I'm eating. Jane says, that's right. We need to love ourselves first, then the rest falls into place. We are all God's children and God did not make junk. Amen, amen, amen. And that is so true. When we find, because a lot of times it takes finally, when we finally love ourselves truly and deeply and hit that place of not caring. Hi, baby girl. Ooh, you're hot. Are you all right? Ooh, I almost did that. Look at this beast. She like takes up the whole camera. Ooh, and she's shedding. Copper. Look how white you're getting. You're getting white, missus. And it's not from the sun. My poor girl's aging. I'm not. Anyway. But yeah, that's just it. When we finally truly love ourselves, life changes. And we need to get there. And these young girls need to be there. And they need to be happy with how God designed them. Everybody wants to change everything, and then they change everything, and they wish they hadn't. Deb says, got a knock at the door. A girl who bought Sterling's truck a few months ago came by for me to sign the title. Weird that banker missed that. Huh. Interesting. Did she see your big sandwich? Laura says, I love the environment you foster, Tammy. I feel accepted, cherished, encouraged in your presence. Thank you, Tammy. I give God all the glory, sister, but that's what this is about, and that's what life is about. You know, and it's very true. When you hit your authentic self, you see the authenticity in other people. And you attract in your life what you seek most. So our community is a group of amazing, like-minded, faith-led sinners who support and love and encourage one another. It's so awesome. And I do want to say thank you, Laura. That does mean a lot to me. It really, really does, because that's what this is about for me, is loving and doing God's work. And I do give him all the glory. That is just awesome. So thank you, my heart. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm grateful that you feel that way, because that's what this is all about. You know, so often in our lives, we've been in places where we've been rejected so much that we don't even know what it feels like to be loved on. And truly, we need that more in this world than anything, is to feel loved on. I mean, I know, and I know I can speak for Keith, and I'm sure others, that, you know, when you do find that place of happiness and authenticity and being loved on, it's such a tremendous feeling, especially when you were running away from the opposite. So it's pretty awesome. And you know what? That all comes from God too. And we are we are made in his image. So it's pretty awesome too, that when he nurtures us and molds us and continues to work in us, that he is molding us to be more and more like him. So it's pretty awesome. Our community is amazing. I love you all so much. I truly, I mean, you guys are family. This is awesome. Deb says, yummy, Shelly. My go-to most every day. Yum. Deb says, so agree with you, Keith. Live life to its fullest, bring ourselves and loving who God made us to be in him. Amen. Amen. Deb says, this is the most amazing community of folks who are real and ourselves with God showing himself. Amen. Amen. Deb says, did anyone see the viral video, the youth pastor in Spokane apologizing to the girls of the world for churches over the years telling females to only wear appropriate swimsuits to camp? No. Would you share that in the community? Huh. No, I would love to see that. I'll tell you what, Austin's church is awesome. They focus on the word. They teach the word. They preach the word. They live the word. I'm just so excited with that. And that's what we need, is churches like that, you know. Keith says, you are so right. We make people think about their lives and they don't like what they see, and hence the ridicule we get from family. Yeah, you know what? And it's so true, is that the people that ridicule and the people that are evil and nasty is because they are unhappy and unloved. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And they are seeking approval from everybody. And when they don't get it, they are hurt. And that's just wrong. You can't accept approval from everybody because everybody's not going to approve you. Everybody's not going to like you. When you finally feel good in yourself and in your walk, and you are authentic and you are seeking God, and it all comes together, it hurts to see these other people just seeking approval. You know, I had a conversation with a family member a couple months back, and I kept being told that I'm not accepting. And I'm like, I wanted so much to say, and I really felt time to hold back on that comment, that it will come later, but that you just need to be happy with who you are, and be confident in your own decisions, and be good enough with that. You don't need my acceptance. You don't need my acceptance. It was regarding a COVID shot. You know, if you want to go get the COVID shot, I'm not going to stop you. I may share with you my thoughts on it and just make sure that you've read over everything and understand everything properly. You know, I support your decision. If that's what you decide to do, that's what you decide to do. But don't expect me to accept it, because I can't. I can't. But I totally accept your decision. But these people that need constant acceptance, it's sad because they're not comfortable with who they are, and they need everybody's approval. Oh, sorry. I'm like hiding from the sun. Can you see me leaning? All right, you know what? Are you cooking out too? I'm going to take you guys inside. Actually, I'm going to scooch up here one more time, and then I'm going to read to you, and then we're going to jump off of here before long, because I'm running out of sun, and it's been long. So let me jump off. Oh, hopefully I don't fall flat on my face, because my legs are asleep. Oh my goodness. Mrs., we couldn't avoid the sunshine anymore, could we? My coffee's staying hot. All right, let's try this one more time. Now my phone's in the sun. So I got limited time here. Whoa. Plus, I gotta keep working here today because I got a bunch to do. But I love you guys, and I love this time. Owie, I'm sitting on a metal bar. Okay, here we go. Whew. All right, let's see here what other comments you guys have. Whoops, let's see. Okay. So Melissa says, this is off topic, but a prayer request. Allergy flare-up. Please pray for head cold clear. Yes, I will do that. I'm not even on the camera. Good grief. Jane says, most definitely. Yes, so we will be praying for that for sure. And praise report. Son is doing awesome, working and going to church. Yes, sister. The power of prayers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Deb says, praying for you, Melissa. Are you around any smoke? Ah, good thought. Yeah. Plus, there's just so much blowing around. Shelly's praying for Melissa. And Jane says, we can only plant the seeds for our children. Yeah, you know, I really fear for the younger generations with all that's going on, but we have to plant the seeds, and all we can do is pray that those seeds germinate. Yeah. Melissa says, thanks you all. No smoke, just grass and pollen high. Yeah. And it's probably dry, so that doesn't help matters any. Shelly says, off topic. Saw Grand's yesterday, 6-month-old granddaughter going on first camping trip starting tonight until Sunday. They go camping every year, multiple times. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And awesome that you got to see them. Laura says, awesome, Melissa. Praise and prayers. Yes. Deb says, Jane, can't stand to go to the public swim areas because of the way girls wear their swimsuits or don't wear much of anything. Horrifying. Girls, women wonder why they get molested and then some. Yeah, it's some pretty interesting stuff these days. But I would love to see that from the pastor. If you're willing to share that, Jane, in the community, that would be awesome. Yeah, modesty is not something that is prevalent as much anymore. Give me jeans and a t-shirt and this girl is happy. But yeah, we really need to reach our younger generation in words and deeds and actions, however we can. But truthfully, guys, being our authentic selves, there is no greater way. You know, they learn most from our actions than our words. You know, words can be blocked out, but they learn most from our actions. So if we can be a light based on our actions, that is just tremendous. Come lay down here. Yeah, lay down there. There's still a little bit of shade. So let me read this to you guys. This is Jesus calling. So again, it's going to be read to you and sound as though God is talking to you, okay? Find freedom through seeking to please me above all else. You can have only one master. When you let others' expectations drive you, you scatter your energy to the winds. Big time. Your own desires to look good can also drain your energy. I am your master, and I do not drive you to be what you are not. Your pretense displeases me, especially when it's in my service. Concentrate on staying close to me at all times. It is impossible to be inauthentic while you are focusing on my presence. And, you know, quite honestly, like I said to you before, when we are focusing on God, we are full. There's no room for junk. And the junk is the world, the enemy. And I don't know if you picked up on that, but it says your own desire to look good can also drain your energy. So vanity plays a huge role in this as well. And I think it's very important that we are clean and tidy, and we do make an effort to look good. But I'll give you a perfect example of vanity. And oh boy. Anyway, one good example of vanity that I've seen that breaks my heart is other women that are dying from breast implant illness and will not remove their breast implants because they're too vain. That rips my heart out. That rips my heart out. That's really funny. Okay. I paused because I'm like, all right, who? I figured it out now, especially after Melissa said that. Oh, that is so funny. I'm like, oh man, we got a troll on here. No, that's my man. I'm like, but how did it say Trier Wilderness? Stanley, I love you, man. You're so funny. I'm being my authentic self, and it's shining through. Oh, that's really funny. I love you, man, and thank you. See, Jane, too. Jane was, like, right on that. She says she reported him. Oops. Oh, that's so funny. All right, so anyway, there was your humor for the day and mine. That's hysterical. Oh, the jobby's on, they're having to nurse a piece of equipment, so they're kind of just sitting there watching it. So are you guys all watching me, or are you just watching me? That's too funny. Oh, I'm like, great, somebody hacked me because I saw the name in front, so I was like, how is that possible? And I know he knows me really well because he saw the mouth hanging open going, wait a minute, so that he had to tell me it was him. Oh. He knows the authentic self way too well. You like the hat, Stanley? Oh. Deb says, totally agree, Mr. Mountain Man. Gives me a warm heart to know you love your love for each other. That's a good point, Deb. That is a good point. But sadly, that there are sick enough people in our world that it draws the attention to. But oh, I love it. I can't believe you're typing. You are stepping up in this world, man. I love it. Or are you voicing it, or are you typing it? That's really funny. I love this. Yeah, we've got such crazy predators in our world today. So, but I do agree with what you're saying, Jane. I do like it. I do like it. And it's keeping my bangs out of my face. Laura says, you two are so heartwarming. I love that man. And you know what? I am so tremendously blessed. He is my constant. He and the mountain boy are my constants in my life, and the only constants I've ever had. And I am so eternally grateful. And then beyond, and of course, God is my main constant. And then you guys follow behind him. I'm so blessed by the people in my life, but truly I love my life. I love my family, and I am so blessed to have those constants in my life and know that they are constants just like God, and they are not wavering, and you know, they don't forsake me or leave me either. So it's really awesome. And it's awesome to have those people in your life that you know you can count on. And I just feel very blessed. So that's funny. I kind of figured that's what you were going to be telling me, that you're speaking to your machine. It's responding greatly. It's not transcribing poorly. That could be bad. Jane says, daughter was assaulted in CDA after a church meeting at a coffee shop. That's terrible. That's terrible. Is she okay? How long ago was that? And did she have people that, you know, came to her rescue? What happened? That's terrible. Totally agree, Jane. It should not, but it sure can attract the wrong kind more. That's true. Shelly says, it's so nice to have those constants. Jim is mine and love him so much. Yeah, it's so awesome to have that, and to know that it's solid. You know, I've had, I'm sure we all have, but I've had a lot of trash in my past, and just people that have made me a warrior, let's put it that way. Deb says, I'm so sorry, Jane, and know that it can happen to anyone, anywhere, unfortunately. Yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy with Austin where he is. He was out walking the dog, and a drug dealer kept stalking him in his car and kept getting closer and closer. And the only reason he knew who it was is because one of the guys was walking with him and recognized him from another situation where he was doing the same thing to other people. So it's really crazy. You really do. You need to be careful. You need to have eyes on the back of your head today and just be careful. But all the more reason for us to be authentic and aware, you know. It's our chance to be a light. Jane, if you want to share details on that, that would be great. If you don't, I get that too. I'm kind of waiting to see if you're going to share anything more on that, because I am going to jump off of here so I can continue with my day. And you guys, okay, let's be real. I'm going to go eat. All they've talked about is food today, Stanley. Deb was making bacon while I was live and telling us all about how she was piecing her sandwich together. Well, soon enough, the Mountain Man will be joining me during the day on these lives again. But I like that he joined this way. That's so funny. And I love that Jane did the same thing I did. I was like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Well, I am going to say a prayer for us. Guys, this has been awesome. And thank you for your input and your feedback and your transparency as always, because one of the greatest reasons I think we are drawing people to us is our authenticity. our love for one another, our constant encouragement, and also our transparency. You know, they see us sharing our good, our bad, and our ugly. If only you were here to do your little song, Stanley, your little whistle. But anyway, seriously, when we share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're raw and we're real, you know, it really shows people our character. And I think it is inviting. You know, we've had a lot of new people joining in, a lot of people returning, and that is good. And that is a result of not just us, I don't think. I think it's everybody. I've got to go, everybody. Get back at it. It's good hearing from everyone. Take care, and we'll be praying for everyone. Love you, baby. I love you too, and thank you. You know, that is something that he and I do all the time, is we pray for everybody in our community, because it's been really awesome to see how God is working miracles right here, but all over the world through us, and it's pretty awesome. It's really, really awesome. Deb says, stay safe with your writing environment, working environment, Mountain Man. I'm pretty sure that's what she meant. Yeah. And Melissa says, have a good weekend, you guys. Take care, Glenn. Yeah, so I'll say a prayer for us. Papa, I just thank you for this beautiful weather. I thank you that it's cooler here today, even in the sun. It's hot, but thank you for the cooler temps, for the breeze, for the no smoke. And I just ask that you continue to keep your hand of protection on everyone all over the world here that's joining us, because the weather is different everywhere, and there's all kinds of occurrences. And we just ask that you be with them and keep them safe. Be with the Mountain Man, keep him safe. And thank you that he was able to join us. And keep your hand on the Mountain Boy too, as he's at school. And be with Jane's daughter. Just keep a hedge of protection over her. And Papa, just thank you for what you're doing in our community. Be with Jane and Laura and Shelly as they are trying to get answers to their health, as Melissa as well. And be with Melissa with her allergies, and just help her. And just be with everyone, and just help them to continue to be authentic and find themselves in this crazy world, and to be a light to others. And also so that when we are authentic, I truly believe that God has a greater way of using us and our skills and our talents. So just be with everyone. Heal their scars and their wounds. Heal their sicknesses. Heal their minds. Bless them and be there for them when others couldn't be and aren't. And just help them to find their authentic self, and to be proud of who they are, and know that they are a child of God. And just thank you for keeping your hedge of protection over your children. Just continue to do so. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for this time and all the transparency and authenticity that's been shining through. And just be with everyone until we gather again on Monday. And thank you for what you're doing in our community, all the miracles you've been working. Just continue to be with Bobby, and be with Robin. She just popped in my mind. She hasn't been present lately, so just be with her as well. And just allow everyone in our community to reach those in their environment through their authenticity, their faith, their love for one another, and may their light just shine. And just thank you for the abundant blessings you're going to put upon everyone. We love you and ask all of this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, guys. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Deb said praying for Kelly also. Yes, thank you. And for Rhonda. It's so hard to remember everybody when I'm praying, but God knows their needs, and God knows that they're on my heart. So although we miss things sometimes in prayer, God hears us and knows what's going on here. So praise is also for Austin and for Melissa's son, and prayers for Rhonda and Kelly as well. So guys, I love you. This has been awesome. I am so grateful to have you guys on here and to be able to build these relationships and friendships and to support one another. And I know these are powerful. I know they are life-giving. I feel it, and from your feedback, I think you feel it too. So spread the word. If you know others that can benefit from this, share them or just let them know where they can find us. And again, next week, Monday, live, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Wednesday, community Zoom. It will not be on YouTube. You need to go to TrayerWilderness.com/community and join us. The pinned post in the community has the link where you will be able to Zoom with us at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will not be live Thursday morning at 10:30. I will not be live next Thursday, okay? I will be doing Bible study at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday evening, and you can join us by going to TrayerWilderness.com/Bible Study Book Club. And if you have children that would like to join in on my reading of Hope Island, the second book, you can join us by going to TrayerWilderness.com/Kids Corner. It is 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday. So, and that is a Zoom. Yes, look forward to seeing you tonight as well, Miss Deb. All of you take care. I love each and every one of you. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. Love you all. God bless.